Hey guys, my name is Nora Franch, and welcome to the podcast Grateful Blessed Mess, daily reflections for those in the 12 steps. I am a fellow 12-stepper and certified mindset coach, and I am here to introduce you to the value of mindset coaching in your 12-step journey. So if you feel like you are stuck in the steps, if you're slipping and sliding with your abstinence, mindset coaching may help you as it did me, and you can find me at CatholicMindsetCoaching.com. These episodes are meant to invite you in to consider the truths of 12-step wisdom and to join in the very real struggle of living them in action. I hope that it feels almost like a mini meeting, and I invite you to contribute your own share on the Grateful Blessedness Facebook group to keep the discussion going. My comments are based on my own experience, so feel free to take what you like and leave the rest. But my hope is to encourage you on your own daily 12-step journey. As they say, you cannot stay clean on yesterday's shower. So without further ado, let's begin. We are reading from A Day at a Time, April 1st. If we don't want to slip, we'll avoid slippery places. For the addict, that means avoiding people who used to provide substances. For the alcoholic, that means avoiding old drinking haunts. For the overeater, that means bypassing one's favorite pastry shop. For the gambler, that means shunning poker parties and racetracks. For me, certain emotional situations can also be slippery places. So can indulgence of old ideas, such as well-nourished resentment that is allowed to build to explosive proportions. Do I carry the principles of the program with me wherever I go? Today I pray. May I learn not to test myself too harshly by asking for it, by stopping in at the bar or the bakery or the track. Such testing can be dangerous, especially if I am egged on, not only by a thirst or an appetite or a craving for the old object of my addictions, but by others still caught in addiction whose moral responsibility has been reduced to zero. Today I will remember, avoid slippery places. Yeah, I love it. I love it. You may have heard, if you walk too close to the water, eventually you're going to get wet. Or if you play with fire, you're eventually going to get burned. It just makes good sense. Eventually if you're dabbling in something that's dangerous, you're going to get bit. And, especially in the beginning, maybe when it's extra hard, you don't have like even the habits formed of saying no and resisting things. It's important to stay away. But I imagine at all times it's important to kind of stay away, because even being around certain things can start to bring those thoughts back of like, I wonder if blah, 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 blah. And we did a different podcast episode on this where like we talked about not even like indulging or taking part in an indulgent conversation about, whatever our substance or behavior was, because even that just opens the door. And why open the door when we know that we don't want that? Going back to the beginning here, slippery places. Yeah. So it's important to identify for you, like, what are slippery places for you? We don't want to go there. And even if, we don't go to the physical place, they go to then the mental place. And I think that's my wheelhouse here. That's the purpose of this podcast. That's the purpose of me coaching people who are struggling in the steps. That's what I want to help with, is this emotional sobriety. And I heard someone the other day describe emotional insobriety as living in their character defects. I love that. Because look at this, like, that's exactly what that is. That's when we go to rumination, indulgent ideas, a nourished resentment that eventually can build to explosive proportions. That, I believe, is in large part the reason for my disease, and for sure the reason for my relapses. And I just, even to this day, that is where I struggle the most. And so that is just like such a beautiful thing, because I think deep down, before we were ever exposed to our substance or behavior of choice, we struggled with our emotions. And that's in the big book somewhere. It is. It's in the 12s and 12s. But that is the case, that we struggle to manage our emotions. And so this touches on that so beautifully, because those today and every day, those are the slippery places that we have to be very careful with, because it's not like we can just walk past them. It's not like we can not go into the bar or not go into the pastry shop or not go into the racetrack. We are living with our emotions on a daily basis. There is no moment of the day where we are not experiencing some kind of emotion, whether positive or negative. And so that is the thing. That is like your rock. To be emotionally sober is your rock in program. And that's what mindset coaching is all about, is getting to that point where you can be firm. You can have firm footing in your own emotional sobriety. Keep coming back. With that, I pass. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you feel that mindset coaching could help you on your 12-step journey, please feel free to reach out and find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. But more than that, it's important to me to give listeners like yourself a place where you do not need to feel alone on your 12-step journey. And for that reason, I've created a Facebook group. It's called Grateful Blessed Mess. And it's a place where listeners can go to add their own commentary on the share for the day, in addition to my own, and for us just to have a conversation or start a back and forth where people can find support in their 12-step journey. This is not a replacement for 12-step work. This is something outside of the 12 steps. It is simply something that has a heart for the 12 steps and those who are in it. And so, welcome. If you're here, chances are you may also be a bit of a mess. And I hope that you can learn to find some gratitude in the blessings that have come from your messes.